Hello, good afternoon. It's Tuesday, March 24th. This is my second run at this video. I had issues with the first video getting uploaded and getting posted to the platform I was hoping to use. So I'm going to give it a run here a second time through and hopefully things go better. First and foremost, I hope this video finds you and your family safe and protected through this pandemic that we are enduring. I also want to wish your family members, if any of them are essential workers that are providing services to our citizens during this time of need, please pass along my sincerest and my family's sincerest gratitude and appreciation for what they're doing. On a similar front, before we get into the advanced placement information, which is the purpose of this video, I do want to encourage you to reach out to your friends, family members during this time. We are a social species, and the idea of social distancing, though necessary to protect us physically in terms of our physical health, will have a toll on, I think, our mental health. And so I think it's important that if you have been thinking about anybody, if there's been somebody you've been wondering about, how are they doing? I was talking with my friend the other day about so-and-so, that you reach out, send them a text, better yet, send them a call, use the face-to-face communication that you have through digital means. We've done that a lot in our family, and it's been a game changer for my parents to see their grandkids, and just to see our friends that we're not, close to, in proximity, in physical proximity right now. But it's been a huge help and a huge asset, not only to them, but to us as well. On a completely different note and switching gears into AP, I do want to give you an update that I promised you. So AP tests are still occurring. And that was a mandate that was made on March 16th after we had left. We saw each other last on March 13th. And at that time, they had said AP test dates had, no plans of changing at that time. Well, 3 days later, they announced that they would be changing and that more information would be announced on the 20th. That was last Friday. Last Friday, you saw a flurry of tweets from me in which I tried to push out the information. Now, just so we're clear, that information is the information that I'm talking about here. So if you've already read through that, this should just be a double check for you to make sure you understood it fully. I have no additional information. They have not reached out to me specifically or anything like that. So AP tests still are a go. Those are going to take place in your home. We are not going to ask students to gather together. You'll be able to take them from the security of your own home on your own personal electronic device. Your Chromebook would be sufficient. A smartphone would be sufficient. A tablet or a home computer would be fine. If you do not have a device that you feel comfortable or reliable to use for this test, there's a link on my website for advanced placement to be made aware of this, and they'll try to make the necessary arrangements. I know there's also issues with equity, not only within our district but within the entire nation, and they have opportunities for you to handwrite out your work, take pictures of it, upload them, scan them, and send them to them, and they'll grade them that way. So they're being very equitable. On the talk of technology, I'm not sure if the test will require a calculator or not. Our former test was supposed to be 3 hours plus in duration. It was supposed to cover 2 multiple choice sections, 2 free response sections with calculator being active for half of the test and not for the other half. What we've found out is that all AP tests that require a test will be 1 45-minute session, period. Okay, now during that 1 45-minute session, the actual specificity of how they're going to ask the questions has not been announced. That's coming April 3rd, next Friday. But they have announced that it will not be multiple choice. It'll only be free response, and there'll be special parameters put in place to protect content security, plagiarism software, and things above my pay grade, guys, that I don't necessarily understand at this point in time, but that they will be able to guarantee that your work is authentic and not somebody else's. Let's see, I'm looking down at my notes here. Other concerns about the test that you might have is content. Obviously, we finished most of our content, but we were short 3 sections, 7.1, 7.2, and 7.3 from our book. We had a brief lecture over 7.2 on the 13th when we saw each other last. You should know that the content is going to be trimmed from what we were supposed to learn to what we learned through early March in a typical course sequence. Your instructor, that being me, went in a typical fashion. Therefore, what they are trimming out of the content is Unit 8, Okay, now that's separate from our chapters of our book, but Unit 8, which covers finding the average value of a function, we've already learned that. It covers connections between acceleration, velocity, and position using integrals, which we've covered a little bit. But more specifically, it covers the finding areas between two curves and finding volumes of these areas that are revolved around various lines of revolution. That content is not going to be on the AP exam, so it will only cover everything that we have covered in our class. So if that's a concern of yours, know that that will not be expected of you to know. However, having said that, after we push through this pandemic and we hopefully return to some sort of normalcy in our life, you'll be moving on to college, and many of you will be pursuing mathematics as part of your degree or as your degree, and you'll need to know this information. So there's going to need to be an opportunity for you to gather that information before you take your next step in, say, Calc 2 or something like that at a collegiate level. And I'll come back to that in a little bit, how you'll get that information that you need. In terms of, again, specifically the testing, there will be 2 testing dates, an early one and a late one. The early one for students that want to take it more close to when they've learned the content, and the later date if students want to take this opportunity during this extended absence from school to study and continue to learn a little bit of the stuff that maybe they need to brush up on or that they have not had exposure with at this point. And anybody not wishing to take the exam, College Board has said they will get a fully refunded amount if they would like to not take the test. So they are encouraging students to wait to make that decision. If you know at this point in time that you do not want to take the advanced placement exam, a full refund is capable. We're told that that should come through the school, Marysville High School specifically in our case, as their funds are sent when the tests are sent back. So you won't be charged any fee for canceling your test as you would in a traditional year. You should also know that the colleges and universities support this change from College Board for this 1 year. Obviously the test format changing and these special circumstances being created for this unprecedented event that we are going through. In terms of the AP test, that's the information that I have to provide to you. If you are in need of a calculator, I talked about if I didn't know they were going to be needed, but if you're in need of one and you don't have one at your house, please just message me via email or hit me up on the Twitter account and I'll be able to get you a calculator. I have 4 or 5 here at the house and we can arrange a drop-off in some way, shape, or form to get you the necessary equipment. All other information about the test specifics are going to be announced on April 3rd via the College Board website. I'm sure there'll be another video posted from me to explain how the test is going to look for those that are interested. And then lastly, in regards to testing, 504 accommodations, IEP accommodations. I have not read anything in the literature about how they are going to honor those accommodations that students have nationwide, ourselves included. And so as soon as I have any information on that, I will pass that along to any individual that typically takes advantage of a 504 IEP accommodation in our classrooms. Additionally, through College Board, they are going to create online live that will then become on-demand tutorials. These tutorials will cover content that we've already covered in class, such as limits, continuity, derivatives, integration, related rates, so on and so forth. Stuff that we've already covered. And that'll be about 3/4 of the content. And then 1/4 of the content that they'll push out on these platforms will be stuff that we have yet to learn. So for us specifically, it'd be finding those areas between curves and finding the volumes of revolutions and with known cross sections. If you're interested in looking up what technically Unit 8 is, you can download the links on my website, the course description. It's a large document PDF in nature, but you can look at that, and Unit 8 is what you're not expected to know. Units 1 through 7 for Calculus AB is what we are expected to be tested on if you are interested in pursuing this advanced placement exam. The live support sessions are going to be, the first 3 are 2 to 2:45 Eastern Standard Time starting tomorrow, March 25th, Wednesday, again 2 to 2:45 Eastern. The first 3 are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, and they cover differential equations, separate and integrate, and sketching of slope fields, stuff we've already done in class. So if you can make it live, you can catch them during those times. They will then become on demand. There's a AP Central College Board YouTube channel that's been created where they will have those videos posted for your viewing pleasure. Let's see, what else? What am I going to do during this time? So I'm hopeful to support you in your journey. For those of you that are interested in pursuing this option, I don't know when and if we'll be back in school. So I want to support you how I can in a variety of ways. So my website, I've created a new tab studying for the AP exam where it's going to have all the necessary links for AP Classroom, for the YouTube channel, for the schedule of when they'll be posting those live videos, the PDF that I talked about of this course description, and this video obviously will be hosted there as well. I have already unlocked every content multiple choice and content FRQ for chapters that we've covered on AP Classroom. You've seen that likely if you've been on AP Classroom since March 13th. I've also created some Delta Math assignments for reviews of the various chapters. They say Chapter 2 review and practice, so you can hit those up on Delta Math if you're looking to stay fresh and kind of current with your skill set. Obviously, taking 10 days away from this has not been easy for you, and so it'll take some time to get back into some of the nuances of those skills. I'd like to host past FRQs where I can put the question on my website and then underneath it a link with me doing the problems and offering my commentary. I'm sure I'll just shoot it over my shoulder or something like that, and then kind of talk as I work, decoding the question and then showing the steps to solve that question. And then you can kind of do those, on your own and then check back and compare it with mine. And then lastly, I'd like to offer some live sessions with you. So I haven't fully researched that yet. I've looked at Zoom, I've looked at Google Hangouts, and other platforms where we might have the opportunity to have some live, discussion and feedback with one another, specifically about content or questions that you have. And so look for more for that on the website as I do a deeper dive and try to understand what platform would be the best to host, 22 of you and me at the same time if everybody shows up. So those would be kind of like office hours where you could ask questions or things of that nature. My website's going to be a big source of hosting most of this information for you, and Twitter, I'll try to push information through there so that you can know when things have been updated and things of that nature. Yeah, that's about everything I have so far. I miss you guys. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're safe. Hope you're sound. And hopefully maybe studying for this AP test, if it's something that you're interested in doing, will serve as a small distraction during this, kind of period of time where we're kind of in a holding pattern. So wish you all the best, and please reach out to me. I've spoken to some of you via email. Some of you have direct messaged me on Twitter, and so we've had an opportunity to have some talks and catching up and getting some questions answered. So feel free to do that if you need that. I'm here for you. I obviously miss you guys and wish we could be back in school learning and having fun and challenging each other like we typically do. So I did want to just say one last thing here right before I sign off, that the people that they have hosting these videos online are fantastic. They're oftentimes some of the more well-known key players on my electronic discussion group I often reference in class that I'm a part of. And so you're in good hands there. Dare I say they won't be as good looking or as humorous as your current calculus teacher, but they'll probably be more humble and very thorough in their explanation. So I think you're in good hands there, but I'd like to support you through that. So, all right, I hope this finds you well. Be safe, take care of yourself, take care of each other, reach out to your friends and to people that you are concerned about right now. It's important that you do that. And then just work on feeding your own soul a little bit here, guys, okay? During this extended absence that we have, find time to do things for you as well. All right? Take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye.